All right, I hope you stretch because we have Frank from the quad on today in place for Serge.
I'm in the building.
Yep, Serge and his wife welcomed a baby boy last week, and he'll be back soon. So, Serge, welcome to the fraternity of fatherhood, my brother.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations.
All right, Frank, let's jump right into it.
Into it, man.
Let's talk about Conor McGregor and Khabib last night. After being choked out. When he just actually had to tap. You're the biggest draw in UFC, and you got choked out.
Right.
Is it time for this man to hang it up?
Okay, so I don't think he needs to hang it up. And I'll say this, only because there's an aspect of what he does that's very entertaining, and that's where the draw is. That's where the money is. So if he's still a draw, then I don't say that he hangs it up. But when it comes to his skills, I mean, is it really a terrible thing that he's some of the best or some of the big talkers are going to get beat sometimes? I don't know if that's such a bad thing, but we see this guy and we're like, there's no way that he could lose. Kind of like Ronda Rousey. She had won all those fights and she was the face of the UFC and all that. And then she got her ass whooped a couple times.
Yes.
And she's pretty much done, right?
Oh, she's in the WWE and now she's the champion.
She's a WWE champion. So at the end of the day, maybe that's what his goal is. Let me just, continue to have a following, continue to draw this up. And then just like he did with boxing. I mean, how do you go from an individual who has never boxed before to boxing the most, accomplished and the best boxing champion that we've ever seen in our time.
But let me stop you right there with Mayweather.
He was able to do that.
But Mayweather always picks an opponent that he's going to win. He's going to beat them.
Right. But this is way beyond that.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what Conor McGregor should start doing now after this ass whooping he just took.
Yeah, so don't fight the dudes that might beat you.
I mean, it started from the whole bus issue. He attacked the bus he was on.
Right.
That felt WWE-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's leaning towards that. So Conor McGregor, holla at Triple H.
Yeah.
Honda Ronda Rousey.
See what they could do.
And let's get it popping, man, because your character, it fits the WWE.
And it's all scripted. Well, I mean, not all scripted, but it's all
scripted.
It's very much
choreographed.
Scripted. It's like, what's it, an adult, what do they call it, an adult, we used to watch soap opera.
Yeah, that's exactly what
but
it
it's
is.
like way more storyline than it was when I used to watch it.
Yeah.
We just used to see the Mean Gene interviews, and then they go in there and do their fighting thing. But yeah, it definitely suits him. He can make a lot of money in the WWE.
And not get hurt. Or choked out.
Yeah.
Unless you want to get choked out.
And decide when his career in WWE is over. He's got a lot of money to make.
All right, that's one thing we don't do that much on this podcast is talk a lot of UFC, but we got to talk about Derek Lewis and the best post-interview ever. This man was saying, yeah, Trump called me, told me he wanted me to knock this Russian out because of Putin and all of that.
He said it's not a good look.
Then he was talking to Joe Rogan, hey, man, in 2 weeks,
I
need to go, we can go smoke something.
Yeah, we can go smoke something.
Then he also, Rogan asked him a question about the championship.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no, man, I ain't got that kind of gas right now.
Man. He said he ain't ready.
But
he said,
hey. So let me ask you this. Did he keep it too real?
Okay, so is there such a thing as too real? It just depends. He's probably not in the position where he has to be PC, you know what I'm saying? So maybe this is something that catapults him into more notoriety. And after this point, he might need to, somebody's going to get it. He's going to get a publicist or whatever. They're going to say, hey, man, you can't be doing interviews like that. You did keep it a little too real. But at this point, it probably didn't hurt him. It probably helped him a lot with his popularity. He's going to be all over social media. And then people are going to start watching him in UFC. They're going to watch this fight. They're going to see what he did and all that. So, and he's a big boy. He's a heavyweight.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, maybe he'll be at that point where he's going to have to be a little bit more, with his words.
Yes. Please choose
more
better
judicious
words.
with his words. But at this point, probably doesn't hurt him.
All right. So let's move on from USC, man. Let's talk about some college football. All right.
Okay.
Does Nick Saban have the right to complain about the student section being empty and meaningless games?
Well,
I mean, look here.
Does he have a right?
Yes.
I don't know if he has a right, but I understand it because he's not necessarily looking at, I think I could be wrong. This is my opinion. I think he's looking at the overall, you know what I mean? Because if the kids ain't in the seats, then that means there's no things being purchased. You know what I'm saying? There's no.
But he was saying, okay, there's nobody to cheer on the players.
But is that the real issue?
But here, let me ask you
is
this,
that
Frank.
the real issue?
Let me ask you this. Louisiana Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
It's Friday night. I just partied. You think I'm going to wake up early to come see y'all whoop them?
Right.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Alabama steamrolls everybody. It doesn't matter. So it's basically Thanos. Is he getting bored? That's all it is. He is bored now. So I don't get it, man.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Though. I don't know if that's a real issue because I think he should better than anybody understand what he's built. You know what I'm saying? He knows the product that he has with Alabama. He knows that they steamroll everybody.
Well, hey, stop having all these flawless victories against these teams, man.
I know, exactly. Fatalities.
Stop picking cupcakes. You know his team is really good. That this is the worst thing that he could complain about is the student section not being full.
Right, yeah, because he knows those rivalry games and the games against, certain Alabama. I mean, you know the games are going to draw the crowd. So you need to be just happy with that. And these other, Louisiana Lafayette type of schools that he's going to play, that they know they're going to kill him, he shouldn't expect the same draw of a crowd.
If I just met if I just met a shorty the night before, you think I'm going to wake up early to go to a game?
They're going to beat them 85-0.
I'm going to say it was LSU or somebody or Clemson.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
Maybe
Louisiana Lafayette?
Yeah,
come on now. Don't do that.
It's not going to happen, Nick. Stop it, Nick.
All right, so let me ask you this about the FSU job with Willie Taggart. Do you think that this job is too big for him?
Florida State is it's a known program, and it hasn't been what it's used to be in the past.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, maybe I don't know if it's too big for him because, it's not like.
He came from Oregon, and Chip Kelly already had everything set up for him.
Yeah. But this is an opportunity for him to show that he actually, put some of that work in and was attributed to some of their success. So it's really an opportunity. I don't think it's too big for him, but we're going to see.
I don't think he'll survive at the next season if it's another story like this.
Yeah,
think of Charlie Strong in Texas.
I know, yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. Those programs have expectations.
But they got to understand, too, they're trying to build character in young men. They want to bring that into the program.
Man, forget all that. You try to win some games.
Yeah, no, let me say this. You got to have knuckleheads to win games. I understand that, but Charlie Strong was getting it right.
Yeah, I know.
Look what he did for Louisville in that program. They didn't give him a shot. So
when you give him time, if that's what he's trying to do, you have to be able to also show some success.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that.
What I mean? Like
Florida State, he's not going to have time to get that program turned around in the way that he sees.
No, I don't think so. But we shall see, because again, if they have some success, and even if it's not, championships, but if they have winning seasons and
ACC, Clemson doing their thing, you got to win.
Yeah, you're going to have to win.
Because Deion's going to start saying something a little bit.
Yeah, all those, that's the thing. All those alumni.
Old heads going to start coming.
Alumni, them boys.
And let Bowden get to running his mouth. Yeah. You're done.
Forget about it. All
right, speaking of done, let's talk about Kelly Bryant. Mm-hmm. Are you team Clemson or team Kelly Bryant when it comes to that situation?
You know what? If I could be ambiguous about this, I know I can't choose both sides, but I do understand both sides. I understand it. I understand his side more than Clemson. Like, why are you upset or upset? Why do you have a position on it? If this kid feels like he's a senior, you know what I mean? It's his last year. He's been playing. He had a good season last year, and
he only lost 2 games.
Right. So why would you be upset about him wanting to take his opportunities? Because you're doing the same thing, choosing this other kid. You want opportunities. You think this kid gives you a better chance to win, so you make a decision. So why not let him do the same thing for his career? This is not just about college football. He's trying to get ready for the next level. And if he's not playing, guess what? There's no tape on him, and you can't say, okay, well, look at my junior year season. No, we want to know what have you done for me lately?
And let me just jump in there because the announcers that did their game, they were like, yeah, he should have chose Clemson over being selfish. How they being selfish?
Whatever. That's not selfish. And you know what? I think honestly, it's really about the narrative, because when you even, this kind of brings me into conversation about LeBron James and free agency and all that. And, honestly, I didn't really think about it the way that I do now. Now I understand it. When these teams decide we're done and they trade you or do whatever they're going to do with you, we're used to seeing that. Yeah. But when the player decides to do the same thing.
Oh, it's all hell being raised.
We criticize for them. But what's wrong with them taking more control of their careers? There's nothing wrong with that.
And what's wrong is, let Kelly Bryant finish this season. You got this freshman for the next 2 to 3 years.
You got a freshman. Yeah, why not let him finish? Was there something behind the scenes that we didn't know about? Why wouldn't you let this senior who had a good season for you last year, why wouldn't you let him finish the season?
But here's my thing. You can tell when the football gods are upset, because you saw what happened against Syracuse.
Right.
The freshman quarterback got knocked out. So you had the third-string guy who's now second-string had to pull out a win. Mm-hmm. So I think the football gods are on our side on that one, man.
Yeah, no question, man. I ain't mad at him for making a decision for his future. It's not about this season. It's about his future.
All right, so we were talking about old school players earlier. Let's talk about Jimbo Fisher going old school on Tyrell Dobson. Do you agree with his methods of motivation?
You know what? It's football itself is a physical sport, right? And it's an aggressive sport. We were just talking about it before we started the podcast. You know, you need a certain level of aggression to be successful playing a game of football. So, and my son plays. He's 9 years old. He plays for the shout out to the North Texas Razorbacks.
Who won yesterday?
With a big win yesterday, 26-20.
By the way. Congratulations,
yes,
fellas.
sir. Yes, sir.
Get that work.
But so if because automatically as a father, I say, okay, the only way that I could really react to this is to put myself in a position where I'm the father and that coach is grabbing my son by the face mask.
But he said he did it to get his attention.
Right, I get that, and he did get his attention, and then it's not like he just jerked it and was an emotional reaction to it. So I trust what he's saying, and he's trying to get his attention. You know, these kids, they just all over the place.
Yeah, they are spaced out. I'm a coach. Believe me, I know. But here's my thing too. Mm-hmm. This is not actually a kid. This is a young man.
He's a young man.
So you mean that your words? Did your math not work?
You know.
So your first reaction was, I'm gonna grab him by his face mask, which I get old school coming up. We saw it all the time. It's not a big deal. But you're dealing with a different breed of kid now.
Right, you're different.
What if this kid turns around and sock Jimbo Fisher in the face?
See,
now what?
That's where you got to know your players. You know what I mean? And I think that as a coach, you know who you can do that with, and probably who you shouldn't do that with. Because even again, on my son's team, there's some kids you can't even smack them on the shoulder pads before they turn around ready to fight. You know what I mean? So you really got to know who you're dealing with. But to me, if it was a tactic to get his attention, he probably could have used a different tactic. But I believe what he's saying because it's not like he prolonged it. Once he got his attention, it was over with. So if he smacked him on the shoulder pads or something like that to get him to pay attention, it would be the same thing for me. So in that situation, I was okay. He didn't really go Bobby Knight on him. You know what I mean?
Oh, Bobby Knight acted a damn fool, didn't he? It would have been chairs and everything out there on the field on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it would have been a little different.
All right, speaking of a little different, let's talk about the quarterback position in the NFL. Okay, we're asking our NFL players to be gladiators now, right?
Yeah.
So now it's turning into a gentleman's club. So do you
only for one position?
For one position.
For the defense, it's more adjustments
that's different.
For the
that's
defense.
Safety. This is here for money and financial investments. Do you think that they need to do something with this rule?
The quarterback rule.
The quarterback rule. Well, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Can we even consider the quarterback a football player anymore?
Oh, well, yes, you have to consider that because they out there and they.
But most football players, there's not that many limitations, though.
I know, but now we know the reason why for the quarterback though, because really, if you take the quarterback off the field,
that's advantage to the other team.
Yeah, the game is.
That's
different.
The whole point.
Yeah, the game is different. So, I think when we look on the level of the NFL, where there's money being made and there's money, being passed around, they're really the face. In the money-making position in the league.
Not Dallas, though. Jerry Jones. But
yeah.
I'm just keeping I'm just throwing that in there.
Oh, no, yeah. No, but even Dak, I mean, all interviews, I mean, he's been the guy since he was the guy. I mean, since he got here, really. Now, granted, Tony Romo had to leave, but once they got this guy in and he had some success, it was like, oh, we got a new face.
Yeah.
They didn't go to Zeke. They didn't go to, anybody else that's on the, I mean, because of course Jason went and leave. They didn't even really go to Dez as the face last year. Dak was the face. Because generally for these professional teams, the quarterbacks are the face of the front. Look at Baker Mayfield.
Already, he's taking over.
Yeah, he's taking over, So I understand business-wise, you got to protect that position because that position is generating a lot of your income.
But see, I wish more owners would step up because look at the money I put into my defensive line to get to the quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
so now we got like a targeting area that we don't even know. So if I got a guy coming off the line full speed, he's supposed to cuddle and cradle the quarterback to the ground. That's not going to work. Cam Newton's not going down.
No, he's not going down.
Deshaun Watson, you're lucky, and Dak, you're lucky if you can get to them.
Right.
So it's a joke, man.
It's hard. It's hard I feel more for the defensive players because they're the ones that have been playing this game their whole lives, and they have to make now an adjustment to how they play.
And the way they eat is getting to the quarterback.
Right.
So you're taking meals away from them every time they get there, and it's a 15-yard penalty.
I know that's hard. I mean, safety-wise, I understand and I get it. I just don't know if this is the best way to go about doing it.
It's a terrible way to go.
You might as well
about
put a red jersey on them.
Yeah, and don't even
tap. Yeah, you know what? Put some flags on.
Put a flag on them, and then it'd be safe for my son to play. Right. There you go. So let's talk about Earl Thomas now, man.
Yeah.
Did his finger salute go too far?
No, man. You know what? Again, football is an emotional sport, and you already know everything that he's been dealing with.
That's why he did not want to come back and play unless he had a contract in place.
Right. I want you to guarantee me that you want my services for a period of time.
And this is honestly the best safety in the game right now.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know what he brings to you. He's brought you a championship. You damn sure should have won another championship, but, a decision was made by Pete Carroll. Again, So Russell Wilson could be the face of that Super Bowl win and not Marshawn Lynch. You know what I mean?
And we all know that's what it's about. Marshawn,
of course.
he was averaging what 5 yards a pop in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. But you made a decision in an opportunity to have Russell Wilson be the face,
be the hero
of the win, the hero of the win, the hero of that game, and the continued face of your franchise. You had an opportunity to do it. You made a decision, and they didn't win a Super Bowl. So really, we said shoulda, woulda, coulda, but they would have 2 Super Bowls. That Legion of Boom, he was really kind of like him and Cam Chancellor were the leaders of that defense.
Yes, they were.
So now it's time to give him, some money and give him some security about his future, so he can go all out for your team.
Yep.
And you don't do it, and then he breaks his leg.
But that's the thing. I think he didn't go all out because he was trying to protect himself, and that's how you do get hurt.
And that's how you get hurt.
But the question, did he go too far? I don't think he went far enough.
I don't think.
I mean, he has 2
far.
hands, right?
Yeah, really.
It should have been 2 up.
Yeah, he should have
had a foot too. I'd have had that little toe up too, get him into him too as
like,
well.
Hey, you're lucky that's all he did. If he could have got off that car and run down the sidelines and get to the coach and the owners and everybody else, he probably would have tried to do that.
I mean, because how can you not feel sorry for that guy, man?
Yeah.
He's going to be a free agent. Hopefully, he'll be in Dallas next year.
Yeah,
because
hopefully.
he did bow
That's
to
where
us
he wants to
for
be.
the excellent performance he had against us, and I was clapping because I know he'll be a Dallas Cowboy next year.
Yeah, and I think if obviously his rehabilitation is going to be key.
Yeah, he's already did it before. It was no structural damage. It was like a clean break. So, yeah, he'll recover.
Yeah. Did he just kick that dude's shin? I was trying to see how it happened.
No, I don't even think he got there. It kind of before he when he
before?
planted, it seemed like he broke it. So that was just something waiting to happen.
And see, that's not good. That's what I'm saying. That's what worries me about that.
Yeah, he just hurt himself money wise.
Yeah,
which sucks. But he's still the best in the game at safety.
Yeah, and you need somebody like that on your defense.
Yeah. So speaking of the best in the game right now, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Do you think that he will win the MVP as well as the Rookie of the Year
this year?
This year.
With Kansas City, with Andy Reid teams, they generally start really fast. But this kid is, I think,
but they don't start like this.
Yeah, I know.
In this dominant fashion.
I think this kid is definitely special, and I think that Andy Reid has. You got to give shout out to Andy Reid, man. He has changed the whole culture in Kansas City, and it's crazy because my wife's from Kansas City, so her family they came down here when they played the Cowboys. They love the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, they were deep. I think I was at the Nike outlet when they were there, and I was talking to a guy.
Yeah, they love the Chiefs, man. They travel for them too. So I mean, because my wife is from there and because her family's and they always getting at me, especially when they play the Patriots, which they're playing them next week. They have
where are they playing
fans. They're playing Kansas. I think they're playing New England. They're playing in New England. Thank God, right? Because if they were playing Kansas City, we'd be going to the game.
Well, so let's talk about that game next week because you won't be on unless you want to come on next Sunday. That's on you.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win that game?
You know what, man? They're playing in New England. New England's coming off a good game, and they're coming off a Thursday game, so they're gonna have more rest,
more time to prepare.
But we're gonna see. I mean, this Patrick Mahomes kid. Going back to your original question, I think he's really special, man.
Yeah, he's the truth, man.
He's got some skills that you can't. He's got some intangibles, things that you can't teach. He's got a strong arm. He's got good instincts. He had a year to sit down and watch.
That was important.
That was important because, and if you think about it now, he has to be mentioned with these Jared Goffs and who's old boy in Philadelphia? Can't think of his name.
I can't either.
Wentz,
now.
Patrick
Carson
Wentz.
Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Yeah, Pennsylvania.
You know we don't talk Eagles on this podcast.
I knew you wouldn't remember. I was hoping maybe Spider would, but this kid has to be mentioned with the new wave of quarterbacks. Because he's got the talent, he's got the skills, and he's got the weapons.
That's the most important thing.
He's got those weapons.
Tyreek Hill, Watkins.
Oh my God!
What's the running back's name?
I'll just say running back for Kansas City.
Hunt, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. Right. I mean, he's got the
Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey, who is he has to be mentioned in the names with Gronk as far as the best tight ends in the league right now.
That's 1 and 2 there.
And really he might be edging Gronk because of Gronk's injury history. Yeah. But you can't.
Gronk is the best tight end I've ever seen play.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. His numbers they speak for themselves. But yeah, this kid, he's special. He's got a great coach. His coach has surrounded him with talent. He's got the talent himself so he's not like just a system guy. He's just blowing the system up because of his individual skills and talent. MVP and Rookie of the Year, man. Listen,
who's playing better than him right now?
Nobody
at the quarterback
position. Nobody.
Nobody's playing better than him.
I'll tell you what, though, them boys in L.A.
Yes, they are.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, they are.
They are poised to win it all. They built that team to win it all.
And they were trying to get Khalil Mack because they were all in.
I know that's not on the topic list, but what the hell were the Raiders thinking letting that dude go?
Gruden. It was just Gruden. It was a bad move. He's all invested in the quarterback, but like I said, you got to have a guy that can get to the quarterback.
This guy is not the guy you let.
He's the second coming of Lawrence Taylor.
That's what I'm saying. He is a once a generational talent, as they say. How do you let this dude go for money purposes?
Well, to be fair to Oakland too, I don't think they had the cash to pay him. But when you have a talent like this, you move money.
You got to
do
something. You got to do something, man. That
dude, did you see him in Chicago his first game against the great Aaron Rodgers?
That's when you know you don't let a guy like that go, because it doesn't matter what system he's in, what team he's playing for, what coach he is an ultimate. What position does he play? He plays DN?
He plays the DN and
linebacker. He's the best in the game. Wherever he goes, whatever team he goes to, he's going to make an immediate impact. And now look at Chicago. They're being talked about as one of the top.
He just changed the whole culture of that defense, man.
Off of one player.
One person is not supposed to make that big a difference in the NFL, but this guy is special.
Generational talent, man.
Special.
Generational talent.
So you don't agree. Let's go back to the Mahomes.
Uh-huh.
So who do you got right now? If you had to pick an offensive MVP, who would it be?
It's got to be him.
It's him. Rookie of the year.
Right, yeah,
it's him.
Well, hold up. He's not a rookie, though.
Oh, yeah, that's what threw me off.
Yeah.
Because he sat out of the year.
Yeah.
So, hey, everybody just scratch that off. He is the MVP. So I'm going to have to add you now. Who's a rookie of the year?
Right now, you had to come back to me on that one.
We both got to come back and do our research because I wasn't prepared. Because I forgot to do because it's just so many rookie quarterbacks, so I was throwing off myself.
Yeah, no, there's no rookie of the year standing out to me right now.
No,
that I could think of.
No, we'll just move on. Let's talk about the Steelers. Should they welcome Le'Veon Bell with open arms?
I think they should, simply because they understand the situation. Or they should at least understand the situation. And at the end of the day, just remove emotion. Remove emotion. Should you welcome the guy back that can make your offense better and make your overall team better? Make your like we talk about with the Cowboys. Last year when they had, or the year that they had the 13 wins, everything offensively was in place, and they had a good defense.
No injuries, offensive line was healthy.
Everybody was winning. You had a running back. You had a tight end that can get you catches. You had Dez Bryant doing what he's doing. You had, obviously you had a new quarterback who came in with some confidence and some skills. He was polished. So with the Killer Bees, with Bell back in that lineup, you have now opened up your offense.
With Juju Schuster too, you got him.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to look at it from that standpoint. Forget about the emotional side of it. Take the emotions out. Does this guy make our team better? And if he does make our team better, when he gets back, we need because we can't go into why he's doing what he's doing, and I don't agree or I disagree. And
because they've already said that the offensive lineman already came out and was talking negative against this guy who made y'all look good.
Right, which is going to be a problem, because we look at the same thing that happened with Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor. When you compare how the offensive line played with Baker Mayfield was in the backfield as opposed to Tyrod Taylor, it was two different lines.
But I don't understand that. So
they wanted Baker Mayfield back there.
So you trying to get this dude killed?
Well, they wanted Baker Mayfield back there.
Oh, they should be arrested for attempted murder.
You're right, and their play showed it. And so that's what I'm saying. It could be an issue with Le'Veon Bell because, I think he's a talented running back, no question.
He's top 3.
Right, yeah, no question. But the offensive line needs to do their job.
Regardless of who's in there, you do your job.
They need to be at least average. Then with a running back like him, it makes them look above average. They can't just cake it, though, just because they don't like what he said and all that.
I mean, because a lot of them they got paid because of him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and they've already got their money, so why are you critiquing this man? Because he wants his money. He's taking all the punishment.
Yeah, he wants his money, and it's not only just the money that I want. It's almost like the same thing they did with Murray and Dallas. I know we keep going back to Dallas. I know that
they did. They do dirty.
They did him dirty because what they say, you got to be the best. You got to lead the league in rushing and all that. And then when he does it, they say, well, we don't really pay running backs, and now you probably spent all your energy.
But where Murray lost his money is in that Green Bay game where he had a wide open hole.
Oh yeah.
And Pepper just basically touched this dude's arm and he fumbled because he was going to the house.
It was over with.
But on top of that,
it's a game of inches, man.
With all the momentum we had, why not put him on the franchise tag? Just pay him one good year for one more year
on the average,
and let's move on.
I know, but still. So how do you make that decision? Because if I'm Murray and I just had that year that I had, we basically, you would think that a person gets paid for their production.
Yes,
I led the league in rushing.
Yes, I had over 400 carries too.
I led the league in rushing. I carried a heavy load. I led the league in rushing. I
had surgery on my hand and came back and played the next week.
And that was the knock on him. Oh, when he get hurt, he don't play and all that. So he came back, he played, he did all this for you, and then you're gonna tell him, well, running backs, you're in a decline. We don't pay running backs.
Really? How am I in a decline? I had the best year, even though it was a contract year. I had something to play for, but still.
You did. But still, so that's the business side of it. That's not really fair to me for the athletes, especially the running back position. Because if any other position had that kind of production comparable to a running back, and for their position, it's a payday all day long in a contract year too.
So let's talk about a subject I really didn't want to talk about because
Come on, man.
I don't really like this organization, but I like my man Frank. And
I'm donning all my Patriots.
He's decked out in a Vince Winford jersey and everything, man.
It's really the 75. You know what I'm saying?
It's sickening, to be honest with you. It's just sickening. If I had a trash can, I would throw up, but I don't want to get anything on these on their floor.
I got to keep the studio clean.
Yeah, so let's talk about Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
Was he the missing ingredient in y'all's success?
I will say this. I did watch the game on Thursday, the last game, and it was clear that he wanted to get him involved in the game. I don't want to say he was a missing ingredient because I have a lot of faith in Tom Brady that he's going to eventually figure it out. But
it normally don't take this long for him to figure it out.
I know, but you had a lot. I mean, we got a lot of new players, and for the most part, when we lost Amendola, we lost our boy Cooks to L.A., who's killing it in L.A.
Yes.
They didn't want to pay for it. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But so what you had coming back was Chris Hogan as your number one, and that's not. No, I love Chris Hogan. That's not going to cut it as number one. It's just not going to cut it. So with Edelman coming back, because Gronk was there too, but still, Gronk is a tight end. So that means all these other things have to be working for you to really be able to take advantage of Gronk. Gronk can't just be a primary guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get double.
Jacksonville showed you. We put a cornerback on him.
Exactly.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a double. So when Edelman coming back, what Edelman brings back to the Patriots is you have a guy that Tom Brady is like this with. It's a security blanket. He is his security blanket, just like Jason Witten was Tony Romo's security blanket, period. So you got your security blanket back, and you incorporate some of these other boys, Patterson, who's playing very well, getting more comfortable with Brady. You have Chris Hogan, who's still there, who's already comfortable with Brady, but he's just not a number one receiver talent. Then you bring in this boy Josh Gordon.
He's gonna be special,
bro.
Man.
I'm telling you,
he's finally had a quarterback that can get him the ball.
Listen, and the thing is, he can go get the ball.
Yes,
he can go get you saw that on that 500 touchdown. Shout out to Tom Brady, 500 touchdowns in his career.
Yeah, he is the GOAT. I can't hate on that, man.
So I mean, and then you get a guy because Tom Brady doesn't throw that ball if he doesn't
trust you.
Yeah, and trusting of the receiver. He threw that up there like.
But I think that was more for confidence. Hey, I'm gonna throw you the ball, even if you're double team.
Hey, I'm gonna
to see what you're gonna do. Because I had the great Randy Moss.
Right, I had Randy Moss. I know what a generational talent at wide receiver can do. And this kid Josh Gordon, they're comparing him. They say the only comparison they have is Randy Moss, and that is a huge.
Yeah, but he's not a
6'4"
though, is he? Is he more like 6'2"?
I don't think he's tall. I don't think he's as tall as Randy, but as far as his explosiveness and his ability to go get the ball and his speed, and I mean, they're saying Randy Moss. I'm like, okay. I mean, I know what he did against us when he played for Cleveland. I was like, man, who is this kid?
Yeah,
he's catching
special,
everything.
Man.
But he with a quarterback like Tom Brady, we already know when you give a receiver like a Randy Moss type receiver, which they're saying he is, to Tom Brady, you know what happens.
And a good coach. He's never had a coach like this either.
Exactly. And the only thing I'm concerned about with this kid is his, that whole addiction issue. That is a serious thing. I didn't realize how serious it was. So I saw something, I think it was Uninterrupted on HBO or something. But I thought it was just, oh, man, he getting high all the time. He's smoking weed.
I've always knew how serious it was. But my whole thing is when you have so much in front of you that you have to gain, you can set your family up for life,
but
man.
It don't matter, man. When you don't,
that's why you gotta have people in your corner.
No question. No, you got people.
That's why I did not want him. People saying, "Hey, we need him in Dallas." No.
No. Not
when
Dallas.
He was at Baylor, he was pushing weight at Baylor.
Man, we don't need him in Dallas.
Him, Bruce Irvin, Gregory, all that good that's here. Come on, man.
They do not need that here.
No.
I'm glad he didn't come here. But I think that an organization like New England, who says they have resources and resources outside of football that can help him. But at the same time, they know that he can help them on the field.
Yeah, Kraft is going to take care of him.
Yeah,
man.
It's kind of a win-win. But I'm rooting for this kid though. Even if he didn't come to.
I'm rooting for y'all to fail, but I'm rooting for him to be successful.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him to be successful, man. I really because I remember back in the day. I don't know if you know or heard of Chris Herron. He was a basketball player and he had an addiction issue too. This kid used to be he actually was from Massachusetts ended up going to Fresno and played for Tarkanian. Then he got drafted, little point guard, but he was relentless. But then he ended up getting traded to the Celtics, so he's back in Massachusetts. But I mean, this kid would be in his Celtics warm-ups in the streets looking for pills and drugs, man.
That's
crazy. I mean, it gets that bad. You're a professional athlete, and you're still.
That's why your circle has to be strong, man.
I know it, man. I know it. So yeah, I'm rooting for Josh Gordon.
All right. Speaking of receivers, let's talk about Dez Bryant.
Yeah,
there's a lot of questions. People saying, "Hey, should Dallas bring him back?" So I'm going to ask you, should Dallas bring him back?
KT, that's going to be a flat-out no for me.
Yeah, I'm agreeing, too.
It's got to be a no because, and as we were speaking before the podcast, the reason why he was released was surprisingly not because of any off-the-field issues. It was because of production, lack of production.
He was kind of challenging Jason Garrett, too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's
passion
part of
and
emotion.
Yeah. Well, that's always the thing about guys like that. You call it passion, you call it this and that, and that's all fine and well. But if it doesn't translate on the field and it becomes more of a distraction, then it's like I always say, you have to ask yourself the question: is the juice worth the squeeze? For somebody like T.O., it even got to the point where, as much as production that he was having, they was like, "Nah, I don't want to deal with this dude."
Yeah, he was bringing the other receivers in, going into the Jason Witten and Tony Romo are drawing up plays in the huddle. No,
without us. Yeah,
no,
see, now you're doing too much. But I'm saying, when you have a guy who's productive but can also be somewhat of a distraction, you really have to ask yourself that question. And for Dez at this time, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze because they were looking at the production on the field and said, "Wait a minute, what are we paying this dude?"
And I've never seen a number one receiver and a quarterback not have any kind of chemistry at all.
I know it.
That's just weird.
That was a little strange. But I mean, of course, Dak was new coming in.
Well, Dak is not going to force the ball to you. If you're not open, he's not throwing it to you. Yeah, that's why he was so successful our first year.
And he's not Romo, you know what I'm saying, to where Romo and you built a relationship to where Romo knew, like just like on the quote unquote catch, which was a catch.
It was a catch. We was about to be rumbling in the studio. No. You said that wasn't a catch.
that was definitely a catch, and that was unfortunate because
look how that changed our whole history.
Oh my goodness,
that changed the course of the Cowboys.
That was a 4th down play.
Hey. The thing is, we would have went to Seattle that next week and beat them. And we already dogged them that year. Yeah. And we'd have won the Super Bowl.
Against the Patriots? Nah, wait.
Yeah, we'd have took y'all down,
Hold
man.
on a minute.
We are America's team. Y'all just fronting. What were we talking about? We talking about Dez?
We talking about Dez.
Hey, my whole thing is, man, he could get open last year. So we expect for him to get open this year.
Yeah.
Nothing would have changed.
It's a matter, like when you look at a receiver like Dez, he was very successful because of his athleticism, right? As a receiver, but at the receiver position, is obviously route running. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of timing that's involved. You have to be on the same page with the quarterback. And as you get older, and you're not to say that he's not still a killer athlete, but as some of your athleticism leaves, you have to recognize that, okay, I have to stop polishing up some of these other aspects of the position. And I think with Dez, I don't really see that happening. So he's going to have to make a decision to do that because he's not always going to have his athleticism.
But here's my thing. He could have went to Baltimore where all the attention would have been on Crabtree.
Why not? Why didn't he go?
Well, he keeps saying, hey, I'll come back when I feel the time is right. So something's telling me that I don't think it's a physical issue. I think it's emotionally. He hasn't recovered from the Cowboys letting him go.
Yeah.
Because growing up in Texas, he always wanted to be a star.
Right.
Have that star on his helmet.
And he was that dude.
And you can't wear number 88 and then get released.
Man, you number 88.
That's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, man. I agree.
So let's move on to the NBA, man. Let's talk about KD. The woe is me. Everybody's against me. Blase. What are your thoughts on KD, man?
I think that he's still talking about something that he had every right to talk about last year, the year before, whatever, when he first made the trade. But now I think that he's kind of perpetuating that conversation by continuing to bring it up. I mean, you won 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, your ball. We knew that you would do this anyway. So now just focus on let's play basketball.
Because he knows the sucker move that he made.
Well, and he's not going to admit that. You know what I mean? And I can't say what it is or not.
Yes, you can. It was a sucker move.
I mean, I wouldn't have if I've had any control over it. Because I'm used to, I'm watching, Big East basketball, watched the NBA in the 90s where, like, a Jordan would never join the Pistons. It just wouldn't happen.
That's just like if LeBron were to leave and went to Boston.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that even nowadays, like, that wouldn't happen. Boston don't want him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boston wouldn't want him no matter what they say because of the rivalry and because of what he's done to them in the past. They wouldn't even want him in the city. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't. Now, Kyrie Irving, they could deal with Kyrie Irving.
Now Kyrie is saying that he wants to stay now.
Said, if you'll have me. You hear I said that. You can't skip over that.
But he said that in Cleveland, too.
Yeah, well, you're right. He
said the same thing in Cleveland.
That's what they got to say.
Come on, man. Why would you leave that situation? You have one of the best coaches in basketball. Look at that roster.
You talking about Boston?
Boston.
Oh, yes. yeah. He better not leave.
But he's trying to get with Jimmy Butler in New York.
Yo, and that would be great. You know I'm a Knicks fan.
Yeah, I know you are.
I would love that. I love Butler.
Yeah, Butler. You have him. You have the unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Porzingis. I like it. Who's the other boy that they just know? Something.
I know you're talking about.
Huh? Dude from Michigan.
Yeah, he's nice, man. He's nice.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, they got a kid, and he look like he's gonna be a baller.
Yeah, and I honestly I hope they do go to New York because the league is so much better when New York, L.A., Boston are relevant.
All these teams, exactly.
But hey, don't sleep on Dallas.
No.
Don't sleep
Dallas.
on us.
Yeah, Dallas got some players. They got some young players. They got some young talent. You know, I don't know what DeAndre Jordan's gonna do. I don't know what he really.
Why come here?
I don't know. I don't know. It was just a chapter that they tried to close last year that they came back to.
You're like the girl that we wanted at first,
right?
And now that we can have you, I really don't want you.
And what do you bring into the table? I mean, I know what he brings athleticism wise and rebounds and all that. I know, but he's not gonna be giving you points and stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, whenever we had somebody that could protect Dirk. When we had Tyson Chandler, look what happened. We went to the finals.
True.
Not saying that's going to happen now because we need Jason Terry. That's why I want to come back and finish his career here. Is Jason Terry.
Is he still playing? He's
Milwaukee. Where's that?
He was in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's in
Last
Milwaukee.
season,
he really
does.
He's still getting buckets. The dude is 40.
He needs to end his career.
Getting buckets.
He needs to end his career here.
Yeah.
They love Jet Terry.
I do too, man. J-E-T. Jason Eugene Terry. All right, let's talk about the Cavaliers. I want to ask you this. Are they feeling a sense of relief now that LeBron is gone?
I don't think you can feel – it depends on what aspect you're talking about.
I'm like this. Every time we lost, it was never LeBron's fault. It was always something that we did.
Mm-hmm.
So he never got the blame. So I'm saying all the pressure they had to go through, you're going to go to the finals.
Yeah.
And whatever you did good, it didn't matter because it was always about LeBron. So that's what I mean as far as a sense of relief.
You know, probably a sense of relief in the sense that now they can, as an organization, as a franchise, they can start fresh.
Yes.
So I could see it being a sense of relief there. But you take that pressure when you know that LeBron James is going to take you to the finals no matter what your roster looks like. I mean, you take that because that affects everything in the city. You know what I mean? Beyond basketball, you're talking about all the money that gets generated when LeBron James is We Are Witness and his big posters are everywhere. He's a hometown kid. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about just the businesses in the Cleveland area surrounding the stadium that are just popping, restaurants, all time. It's live over there when LeBron plays because you have a draw. But you lose a lot of it. You lose probably most of that when he moves on, But I mean, he came, he did his job, he wanted to bring a championship here, and now he's thinking about his future and his son and his family and his businesses and being out there in L.A. where he wants to be on TV and do movies and do these barbershops and all these shows and do some production company stuff. I mean, he's trying to think beyond basketball right now. So being in L.A. is a better move for him.
So a lot of the LA fans, they're not welcoming him with open arms, though. So,
right, yeah.
I mean,
it's just like, well, it's not just like Boston because Boston was in the Eastern Conference and we saw him a whole lot more when he's with Miami. But it's similar because they're like, yo, we've had Kobe. You just go backwards. We've had Kobe. We've had Shaq. We've won championships. We got Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain. Pat Riley, Magic, we've had some superstars. So don't think you're gonna come up in here and overshine anything that they did.
But you're not gonna be able to overshine. I know you're not
that's
saying
the sentiment,
that, but come on, man, they got to use common sense. You got the best player in the world,
right?
Coming to LA, y'all should be used to that.
You got people that have, but you're also gonna have, because the Lakers are a storied franchise and they're a loyal franchise. You know this, so they also know that with LeBron James comes a lot of LeBron James fans that were not Laker fans before. They're LeBron James fans, and they'll be LeBron James fans no matter what team he's playing for. Laker fans like to be around Laker fans. So I think that's part of it, too.
So no new friends, huh?
No new friends, man. Nah. It's all about loyalty with them, and you're a LeBron fan. You're not a Laker fan, so take off the Laker jersey and just put on a LeBron shirt.
Hey, man, I do like LeBron. He's the best player in the game. I'm not going to hate, man. But, I'm a Mavericks fan first.
Right.
But I love LeBron, man. I just love him.
I'm a fan of players. I
guess because it was so much of the LeBron versus Kobe debate.
Yeah, well, that's still a debate, though. That's still a debate.
And where do you go in that debate?
Okay, Kobe Bryant is more of the throwback player to me than LeBron is. LeBron is more of the new school. He benefits. I mean, he's a great talent. He's a great player physically. He's probably the best physical basketball player I've ever seen in my life. And he's a stat stuffer. He does everything.
Yes.
Right. But at the same time, when you have a player that does everything, it's hard to build a team around a player that does everything. But with a player like Kobe, you know what he's going to give you. He's going to give you buckets. He's going to give you 80 points. You know what I'm saying? He's going to score. He's got ice water in his veins. So when you need a shot, you already know who you're going to go to. Well, LeBron, you're going to put the ball in his hands, and you're going to look for him to make the play, but he might not make the shot.
But with Kobe, we've already seen him.
Yes.
Because of Jordan.
That's true.
He's a clone of Jordan, so we've already seen that.
Okay, so
we've never seen anything like LeBron.
No question.
Well, Magic, but Magic
not even,
is not.
No, I wouldn't even say Magic.
As far as a passing, I guess I would say that. But overall play, we've never seen a player like LeBron.
We've never seen a player like LeBron. So, but you also have to, I think, like you have to keep in mind, like I know when I have debates about this, because I'm saying I'm a little older. So when you have debates about this, which is a debate that I try not to have, comparing the eras.
Yeah,
right?
You can't do it.
You can't do it.
But it's something that we do all the time.
Right, we do it all the time, and it makes good for, conversation.
So let me ask you this. If LeBron and Shaq were together, who wins more rings as far as having with Kobe? Do you think they win more than 3?
Well, I think they win more than 3, and this is why. They win more than 3 because of LeBron's attitude.
Exactly.
He's not a confrontational kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to – I don't think it would have been a big brother, little brother thing, because LeBron is probably going to, not to say back down, but he's going to allow Shaq to be the alpha dog. Because I don't think that's what LeBron lacks, but he lacks that with a real alpha dog in the room.
Because that's what Dwayne Wade had to do. Hey, I had to give LeBron this team for him to shine. But if LeBron and Shaq are together, that's 5 easily.
It would have been 5 with Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah,
if
Shaq
Shaq didn't leave.
Well, Shaq was out of shape. He didn't have a good work ethic. That's one thing that Kobe didn't like. So I give him that. But when he showed up on the game, it was game time.
Well, look, in those first 3, what did they get? They got 3 together.
They got 3 straight.
Jackson.
Yeah,
they were dominant. You know what I mean? It wasn't those 2. They had a great team.
Yeah, Derek Fisher,
but those
Fox.
2. Yeah. I mean, and then just imagine if he stayed and if he had the dedication to his body and everything else. And then Kobe evolved, because Kobe wasn't even the best Kobe during those rings.
But here's my thing with Kobe too. Look what LeBron did with less.
Yeah, no question.
So that's one thing I will always be team LeBron over Kobe. I know Kobe is a dog.
Yeah, man. Player wise.
When I say he's top 5, he's right there.
I think no question. I think
he's top 5, but just
he's arguably top 5.
But see, more people start liking Kobe once he left the game. They really appreciated him.
Yeah, that's the thing. You appreciate it when you go back and look. I mean, I go back and look at old footage, and another person who doesn't get the appreciation and the credit that he deserves is Scottie Pippen. I mean, this dude was a killer.
Oh,
man.
but hold on, let's go to Scottie Pippen. He said he was LeBron before LeBron. No, you weren't.
Yeah, not necessarily.
No,
like
you weren't.
I mean, you weren't. I mean, but he was a very versatile player. But because LeBron don't play defense, you know what I'm saying? That's the one thing. He don't play the same kind of man-to-man defense. He'll chase you down and block your shot.
Yeah, he can't play it. He does so much. He's not able to do that.
So that's another question. When you got a player like that who does so much, is that really better than a player who's a specialist at this over here? A specialist at defense, a specialist at threes, a specialist at shooting. So I ask you like this.
Do you want a woman that only does one thing in bed, or do you want to do multiple things?
Oh, man, hold on a second. Now, wait a minute.
No, it's the same thing.
Wait a minute.
It's the same thing. It's the same argument. It's the same argument, right? It's the same argument.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Okay, I'll take LeBron.
Thank you. You want somebody that's going to give you more and do more for you.
I know, but that's just but okay. So, but that necessarily hasn't worked in his favor, because look at when he played for Miami, which, by the way, they should have gotten more rings.
Yes, they should have gotten
more rings.
But Dallas, man, that unstoppable force of Dallas.
Hey,
come on, man.
Look, but that was a totally different situation. But you look at it when he had the help, quote unquote, when you had other stars, when you had Bosh, when you had Wade, even when I love Udonis Haslem, I love his work ethic. But when you had players like that around him, you see how much better the team was and how much less he had to work because he had some help.
But he still got in and played defense, though.
Yeah,
he was still a great defender then.
No, yeah, he was because he was allowed to have the energy to be able to play defense.
And that's why look at Jordan.
uh-huh.
Pippen guarded the best player.
Right.
Then you get Ron Harper, you get Rodman.
Yes.
Come
yeah.
on, people don't want to talk about that though.
No, wait a minute though. But before Pippen emerged and before all those other guys got there, hey, Mike got the defensive player of the year. He was playing defense before the team got better.
Let's be real. Name one superstar that Jordan guarded.
He guarded all of them. Come on,
Who?
man.
Name one.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller's
John
a shooter.
Starks.
He's a shooter.
I know, but you still got to chase him around the court.
that is true.
That's
But
defense, baby. He got block shot steals. There's a lot of aspects
let's look
of
at
defense.
Kobe. Him and T-Mac, they guard each other.
I like. That was a great
LeBron
matchup.
had to shut down Derrick Rose in the playoffs.
And he shut him down. Come on.
Yes, he
man.
did. In the second half, LeBron got on him. Derrick Rose did nothing.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Let's be real.
I'll give you that.
So when has Jordan ever faced somebody with that kind of talent?
With Derrick Rose talent, you talking about all of it? He's
I know we talking about
Joe
Dumars.
Dumars. Come on, man.
Dumars was the best one that he guarded. I would give you that. After that,
We had to go back in time and look. What about
Gerald Wilkins?
No, what about
Gerald
no,
Wilkins?
yeah, we
He
can't.
had to boy, he shut down Gerald Wilkins.
Let's stop it, man. Now,
Craig
cut it out.
Elo, boy.
Hold on, let's
that dude
look
is
at-
cold.
Well, he had to, when they played.
Byron Russell, he is cold.
Nah, man. But when they played, but that's because
Dan
those teams,
Marley, he is cold.
Those teams didn't have two guards that he had to guard. They had other superstar players like when they played Phoenix.
John Starks
Barkley,
too, huh?
And
You a Knicks fan? John Starks was just cold. He's
Nah,
a reason
but-
why the Knicks are getting a championship.
No, because
One for
they
13?
had the boys. They had
One
the front
for
line.
13?
The front line.
1 for 13, game 7.
Yeah, oh my god, that was their chance too.
There was their chance.
That was their
Patrick
chance
Ewing,
to win a championship.
I wanted Patrick to get a ring.
I did too.
Only because of him.
At least he got the gold medal though. All the guys that Jordan kept from getting a ring, they all got gold medals.
So that's a consolation prize.
That's
Let's get a
true
gold
though.
medal
Think
in
about
New
it.
York. Come on, Frank, you're reaching.
Look, Patrick Ewing,
Karl Malone,
Karl
Stockton.
Malone and Stockton. Reggie Miller wasn't on. Was he?
No,
on
he
that
was
team?
on the next year. He was on that one.
Okay, so Patrick Ewing was on there. Karl Malone and Stockton. Your boy Barkley. All those guys got gold rings. I mean, gold.
But the
medals
one
with
thing I
Dream
can say
Team.
about them, everybody from that era, they had the opportunity to get a
they
ring.
had the opportunity, but Mike stopped all that. And
Mike didn't stop it. If
He
Karl
did.
Malone shows
Clyde
up,
Drexler.
well,
he-
Drexler got one.
He
in
got
Houston.
one when Jordan left.
I would love for that Houston team to play against
That
the
would have
Bulls.
been great. That would
Because
have
they
been
say
great.
it's a video.
You talking about that with or without Clyde Drexler? Because they won too.
Without, they still could have beat that Chicago
You think
team.
so?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Elo, Ori, they had dogs. They had people
They
that was going
did.
to play and
They
get
did.
dirty.
You're right.
They even said that Jordan, he was like,
Maxwell.
yeah. He said something about, hey, that's the one team that we were afraid to face. Because look at their centers.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could stop Elijah.
Nah, nobody was. Hey, look, nobody with centers would stop Elijah Watson.
No,
Never mind.
he
these
gave it
guys
to
that just-
Derek with David Robinson and Shaq.
Throughout that whole run that they had. Oh yeah, he gave it to all the Hall of Fame centers.
I told you this back in the day. Penny Hardaway was my favorite player.
Yeah, I love Penny
And
too.
if Nick Anderson could hit one damn free throw, we at least win one game, and that changes the whole series.
It changed
man.
everything because that was game 1 that they lost.
That was
right?
game 1.
That tip in, I remember.
Yeah, it's bad when Shaq and Penny are getting like damn near 40 apiece.
Yeah, getting everything.
And Dennis Scott got like 3 points. That was he was average.
He was supposed to be the guy.
He's
to
a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Every time I talk about that, it just pisses me off, man. Because Penny deserved the ring.
Didn't they get swept?
Yeah, they got swept because of that one game. It just changed the whole series.
But that's when you talk about the mental side of the game, because you could tell that he was frazzled, man.
Nick Anderson was never the same. Just make one. You had 4 opportunities. Shoot, on that third one, Penny was like, man, it's over. You could see him in the background just raising his hands up in there.
He didn't want nothing to do with them free throws.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Well, man,
Good
Frank,
discussion, man.
It sure was, man. Hey, I didn't think I can get along with a Patriots fan so well, man. But, brother, I appreciate you coming in and being a sub for Serge. You're welcome on this show anytime.
Oh yeah, I love sports, man. And you got me watching sports for intel purposes. It's not even entertainment.
Say, man,
no more.
I need for you to watch it for passion. Come on, dude. Hey, thank you for listening to another episode of Sports Life Talk, where life without sports is just talk. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We hope to see you next week, and tell a friend to check us out.
Yes, sir.